5 years.
So now that you went to trucking school, and I know you giving out plenty of advice on how to pass, your CDL and what tips, what would you tell the driver as far as, I wanted to get into the mindset. So it's one thing to tell them, hey, when you go, you really need to pass this part. You really need to check this. But what is the mindset that the person should have when they're approaching CDL school? And what mindset should they have when they're in that classroom? They have an instructor, because you hear different stories. Some people say, hey man, this school was great. Then you have some people say, man, they really was just trying to get me out the door. I told them I wanted to drive a manual. They only had automatics at the school, so now I got this restriction. So what advice do you give them on the mindset and what to look out for when selecting the school?
Yeah, well, that's a good question, actually. And as you ask that, I'm just thinking, it's nobody's job to give you what you asked for, but it is your job to get what you came
This
for, right?
is true. This is
So if I got a little one in school that's coming home every day and she's not learning what she feels like she needs to learn in school, I'm not going to give her the permission to be able to blame it on the teacher because,
mm,
like okay, theoretically the teacher's supposed to teach you what
this
you
is
need to
true.
know, but if she don't, what you're gonna do? Sit back and complain? You get what I'm
Right,
saying? Like that don't work in regular school, and it don't work in
right,
CDL school either. You know what I mean? So
right,
you shelling out the cash for the school in most cases. I know I did. And so it's like like ask questions. That's the first thing. I'm not a person that is afraid to say, hold on, stop the presses. I don't understand. And then they
right,
explain it to me, and then me to say, hold on, I know I'm holding up everybody else, but I still don't understand. I need you to explain it to me again, right?
right,
If
right,
I'm
right.
paying you, then I feel like I got permission to do you like that all day. Not out of spite or anything, but if I truly
Right.
don't understand, I'm gonna ask you, and I'm gonna ask you, and I'm gonna ask you, and we can break it down. I'm gonna ask you a different way until I understand. You know what I mean? So that's the first thing, or one thing I would say when you're dealing with a CDL school is obviously don't be afraid to ask questions. That's from the interview process. Like you paying them. So when you talking
Right,
to a CDL school, don't be afraid to interview the heck out of them the same way
right,
a company hiring you would interview you. You know what I'm saying? Don't
right,
be afraid to ask them, yo, what's your pass rate? How many students are you are that's coming in your CDL school are actually passing? Don't be afraid to talk to the students that are on the yard to find out, okay, yo, you got 5 people over here that been in this school for the last 5 months. Something is wrong with this picture, right? So, don't be afraid to ask questions, obviously, in CDL school. Um, be a diligent learner, right? I talked about this on the video before. In my CDL school, we had a crowd of people that was on it every single day. Every single day, they drilling. They in front of each other. They reading off the paper. This one is checking to make sure he got the paper right, and that one. Then they do it in another way. And these one, you got 4 or 5 of them, and they going from station to station on the yard. You know what I'm saying, drilling each other. And then you got another group of people that's standing over to the side talking about what club they went to Saturday. You know what I'm saying? That's how it
mm,
was in my school. And it's like, don't be that group of people that's not focused. You're there in CDL school for one reason. You paid your money. It's not the school's responsibility to make sure that you get your CDL and that you pass your test and that you learn what you need to learn. It's your responsibility to do that. So you got to be super diligent on making sure you get the information that you need when you're in school. And the third thing I guess would be spend as much, just be willing to go out of your way. Spend as much time as you need to. If an instructor, if you need to ask them to stay behind late, be willing to do that. If you need to come for a couple extra weekends or stay late in the evening on the weekend, or whatever you have to do, go ahead and get it done. When I got done at the end of my CDL course, my part-time CDL course, there were literally people that was like, I'm not ready to take the test. And so they were willing to switch out and put themselves back 3 or 4 weeks on the test just so they could get more time behind the wheel. You know what I mean? So
see.
take that experience seriously. You are paying for it. And one last thing, now
Mhm.
ain't the time to fail a CDL test. Now is not the time to fail a CDL test. Not
Right.
with the pandemic. Not with the pan. You fail a CDL test now. Who knows when you're gonna get back in there to get retested?
That's right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I would definitely say all of that to the individual that was looking at going to CDL school.